रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैत्वं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधकृष्णपादान् सहगणललितान् श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवाशवानवी देवी दैत्याय कृपाब्दये कृष्णाय कृष्ण Akshara, can you go there and play? I'm reciting slokas, please, Akshara. Yes, please. कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्भुज्वाल प्रेमाद्य श्रीरूपानुग भक्तिद श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुदांप सिद्धांत द्वान्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलंबर सांबोधे पदाम्बुजायते नमः नमस्ते 1 second प्रभु 1 second
No worries.
नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते गौरवी वाम भूमस्तौ निर्देश सज्जन प्रियः सज्जन प्रियः वैष्णव सर्वभौमः श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं नमो नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते जयतां सुरतौ पङ्गोर्मम मन्दं मतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्य पदाम्बोजौ राधा मदनमोहनौ दिव्याद्वीरारण्यकल्पद्रौ मादः श्रीमन् रत्नाङ्गार सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमन् राधा शीलगोविन्ददेवौ प्रीष्टालिभिः सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि श्रीमन् रासारसारम्भी वंशव्वटत्ततस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वनैर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथश्रेयेस्तु नः तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय
Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा
Wonderful. Thank you. So I think we did two verses last time.
Yes, Prabhu, we are in 13th chapter. We did two verses, Prabhu. We did verse 20 and 21, Prabhu. So I did not write my recap, but I listened to the class, Prabhu. So what I understood was like we started talking about this chapter is the nature, the prakriti, the enjoyer and the consciousness. So like you mentioned to I'm not going to talk about the initial flow of the verses, Prabhu, but specifically for last class you mentioned verse number 20, 21, 22, and 24. We are going to talk about the living entities, and 23 is going to talk about the super soul. So, in specifically in verse 20, like we talked about like how the material nature and the living entities both like either it is from the superior energy or from the inferior energy they probably I don't know the initial first portion like I remember the part where we talked about the manifestation and unmanifested state of these but the living entities like as they come into the manifest they come in contact with the material nature in the three modes of with the three modes of the material nature and get influenced um, I am not going in the flow, Prabhu.
No worries. Please go ahead.
Struggle for so yeah that's the manifest and the unmanifest so like it is the living entities or the material nature is not created at all. It is just comes manifested into the cosmic manifestation, or it gets, when it annihilated, it goes into Mahavishnu in an unmanifested state at the end of the day of a Brahma, after 1 year. And we talked about that. Um, um, which one? Okay, I think probably it was the next verse where we talked about how the cause and effect of the material nature or happiness and distress of the living entities, or by their own karmic or their desires to lord it over the material nature. I think that sentence I really liked. It is only because the nature of us lording over the material nature is the reason why we are still here. We are not able to get back to the spiritual planet. Um, and then, like, whatever body you are put in, and then he will act according to that nature. That nature acts according to that nature. That's the law. And demigod. And so, but the last sentence was also very nice, like how the Supreme Lord is so kind that upon living entity, that he always accompanies the individual soul in all circumstances and is present as a super soul or Paramatma. Sorry, Prabhu, I just listened and read the two verses. I'm not having too much of details, Prabhu.
No, no worries, no worries. So you could say, if you could sum it up, the text on 21 is that uh, the the Prakriti is a cause by giving the senses, the body, everything, and the Jiva is a cause by its capacity to experience happiness and distress. They're both causes. Like Krishna says in the verse, right? The living entity is a cause of very suffering and enjoyment because of its capacity to enjoy or enjoy happiness or suffer distress. So only a conscious entity can experience. The Prakriti, the body is unconscious, or you could say, it doesn't have any consciousness of its own. So what we feel happiness, distress, is because the soul has the capacity to do that. So in that way, the living entity is the cause of very suffering. Okay, and nature is the cause to all the material causes of all the body, the senses, everything. We'll sum it up in that way. Okay. Now it's a very, very important verse. The next verse, second verse, 22nd verse. God quotes it quite often. Would you like to read? We- I can read. Okay. Purusha
No,
Prakriti.
if nobody is there, I can read, Prabhu. I can. I'm sitting, so I can read now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Verse 22. Purusha prakritisто hi bhunkte prakriti chan guna karanam guna sangosya sad asad yoni janmashu. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Purusha, the living entity. Prakriti sta, being situated in the material energy. He, certainly. Bhunkte, enjoys. Prakriti jan, produced by the material nature. Gunam, the modes of the nature. Karanam, the cause. Guna sangaha, the association with the modes of the nature. Asya, of living entities. Sat asat, in good and bad. Yoni, species of life. Janmashu, in birds. The living entity in material nature thus follows the way of life, enjoying three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus, he meets with good and evil among various species. This verse is very important for an understanding of how the living entities transmigrate from one body to another. It is explained in the second chapter that the living entity is transmigrated from one body to another just as one changes dress. This change of dress is due to his attachment to the material existence. As long as he is captivated by his false manifestation, he has to continue transmigrating from one body to another. Due to his desire, um, Due to his desire to lord it over the material nature, he is put into such undesirable circumstances. Under the influence of the material desire, the entity The entity is born sometimes as a demigod or as a man, sometimes as a man, sometimes as a beast, as a bird, as a worm, as an aquatic, as a saintly man, as a bug. This is going on, and in all the cases, the living entity thinks himself to be the master of his circumstance, yet he is under the influence of the material nature. How he is put into different bodies is explained here. It is due to the association of the different modes of the nature. One has to rise, therefore, above the three modes of the three material modes and become situated in the transcendental position. This is called Krishna consciousness. Unless one is situated in Krishna consciousness, his material consciousness will oblige him to transfer from one body to another because he has material desires since time immemorial. But he has to change that consumption. That change can be effected only by hearing from authoritative sources. The best example is here Arjuna is hearing the signs of God from Krishna. The living entity, if he submits to this hearing process, will lose his long cherished desire to dominate material nature, and gradually and proportionately he reduces his long desire to dominate. He comes to enjoy the spiritual happiness. In the Vedic mantra, it is said that as he becomes learned in association with the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, his proportionality relishes in his eternal blissful life. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Krishna, thanks so much, Vijay. Okay, before maybe change something before we talk about this. This anyone have anything to share? What they got from the bus, text purport, whatever. Like to share anything when you read this, when you heard this, whatever. Thanks, Ramya. You joining?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah. Would you like to share anything?
Prabhu,
Internet?
there will be one verse where Krishna talks about to rise above the three modes. When I read that sentence, I was just trying to remember where we have read that before.
Chapter number 2.
Yes, Prabhu?
Chapter number 2.
Okay. Hey.
Says Krishna says, right? Mm, okay. Rise above the three modes. Krishna says, Traigunya Vishaya Veda. This Traigunya Bhavarjuna. That comes in the second chapter. Almost close to the end. 45th.
Correct,
Yeah,
Prabhu. Correct.
Miss, yeah, Prabhu. The Vedas words, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Traigunya Vishaya Veda.
Veda.
As
Traigunya Vishaya
Traigunya.
Swami talks about the three gunas. This Traigunya Bhava Arjuna. O Bhava Arjuna
Rise above.
is Traigunya. Rise beyond the three modes.
Sorry, Prabhu. I'll let you explain, Prabhu. I don't have anything.
No, anything push the thought, heard the purport, they had the purport. Okay, let's look at it. It says Purusha. Here again, Purusha is who? The living entity. In the next verse, Purusha is the super soul. Okay, Purusha, Prakriti Stha. He means certainly Prakriti Stha means being situated in the material energy. What happens? Bhunkte. He enjoys, or you could say, experiences. Experiences what? Happiness, distress, right? Which is born out of Ja Gunan. Prakriti Jan. Prakriti means is born of Prakriti, but the Gunan, the qualities. All the happiness, distresses are born of Prakriti. And Purusha, being situated in Prakriti, in material body, is recipient or experience all this. And why is that? Karanam is Gunasanga Asya, because of association with the material modes. And because of that, what happens? Janmasu, in every life, we come in contact with Sad and Asad, good and bad. Okay, hopefully the verse is clear. Each and every topic, word of the verse is clear. Okay, so now Krishna here says that the jiva is by nature full of knowledge and bliss. Okay? But jiva is Sachidananda, right? But jiva is situated in Prakriti. Why? because of beginningless time. Remember anadi, the word we talked about, because of beginningless karma. मतलब है. That's how. Beginner's karma. And now this body is made up of senses, with way of the body, the senses, the prana, the apana, vaya, udan, all these prana, five life airs, we say, right? They all produce the prakriti. And this is ruled over by the jiva. And because of that, the jiva experiences bhungte, happiness and distress. With happiness and distress is born of prakriti, not jiva. Why? If you go the previous in this chapter, the previous verses, the description of when Arjuna Krishna describes the different uh, parameters of kshetra, of body, right? Then let's go to the verse. Let's go. Mm, oh, yeah, see. So in verse number 4, right, Krishna says, "Now please hear my brief description of this field of activity. What the constituents are, the changes, everything about the field of activity." And if you go to verse number 6 and 7, the constituents of the field of activity, the body is given. The body is given by Prakriti, right? What is the constituent? If you go here, the Ichha, Dvesha, Sukham, Dukkham, desire, hatred, happiness, and distress is also the constituent of the body. The happiness and distress is born of Prakriti. But because Prakriti is inert, right, it cannot do anything, but it's born of happiness and distress, but the experiencer is the jiva. And how does experience? How does jiva experience? By taking birth in position, which is higher and lower, or devas, women, or animals, whatever. But jiva is the agent. Does it make sense? The verse, right? So the happiness and gunan, happiness and distress are born of Prakriti because it's part of Prakriti given by Krishna himself in the verse 6 and 7. Right? And the jiva has to be. So Shya Baldev Vidyabhushan goes in detail how someone, Purva, someone gives a different argument, but then he says, no, that's not possible. Big beautiful purport, more technical purport anyway. Um, okay, so is it clear? Any questions on this?
Prabhu, can you explain this again?
No, okay. So the jiva, right, isn't
Yeah.
is in body. Phas gaya. Okay. Now the body, the constituent of the body is happiness and distress, as given by Krishna 6 and 7. Okay. So to experience happiness and distress born of something, one of the only thing, or we could say the Prakriti being a lump of matter cannot experience anything. If
Okay.
the soul goes out of the body can't move because it's dead, so to say, right? It
Okay.
needs living force to move around. Make sense?
Yes.
So to experience something, it needs to be someone alive or something conscious to experience anything.
Hmm.
So happiness and distress, which is born of the body, and
Born
then
of Prakriti, right?
born body is Prakriti, right? Body made given Prakriti, right? Body,
Okay.
the prana, sense, whatever, everything is given Prakriti. Right? So now the born of Prakriti, Prakriti gives this, creates this. So when we say that experiencing sadness, experiencing distress, happiness, who's the experiencer? Is a jiva. So here
Okay.
in the previous verse, Krishna said, living entity is the cause of various suffering and enjoyment in the world. What is the cause? Karana guna sanga asya. Because of association with material modes, the jiva is experiencing happiness and distress in this world. Even though jiva and material like oil and water, they don't mix. Jiva is never contaminated with. It's like why Agni is used as a medium of in yajna. So we have earth, water, air, fire, ether, right? All the elements except fire. When you put contamination in that, they become themselves contaminated. But you put anything in fire, fire purifies it. Fire doesn't been contaminated. So I'm saying the Jiva and Prakriti, even they are in one box, you could say, they're together. They never, the material or Prakriti cannot contaminate the soul because it's two different matter. But because of misidentification of the Jiva with the body, does it make sense? The
Okay.
Jiva misidentifies itself with the body. So I am the body. And because of that ignorance, everything starts falling apart. Experience. Does it make sense? Is it?
Mm,
I can try to. If you have a particular question, I can explain it again if you want to.
uh, so basically,
Hmm.
Prakriti can't experience anything.
No, Prakriti can't be dull, inert matter, right?
Jiva
Matter.
is the experiencer.
Mm-hmm.
And when we are saying Jiva, we are meaning
The
the
soul.
soul.
Yeah. So when you
Okay.
say I'm sad, people
That's
some
not me.
that's not this body.
My soul is sad.
Soul. Yeah, soul is sad. Why? The soul is Sachidananda, right? It's like you're
Hmm.
saying a person who's always happy or is by nature happy says I'm sad, but doesn't make sense. The soul is Sachidananda, always happy, but is saying I'm sad. Okay, so ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? Because the soul is misidentified with the body, and body is happiness. Body from the body comes happiness and distress. So misidentifies with the body and thinks that I am the body. How to मैं sad हूँ? I'm
Okay.
not happy. Does it make sense?
Hmm.
Because the
Okay.
identification with the body.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Makes sense.
Right? And this contract or this contact with the body, the contact is fabricated to ignorance. It's called avidya. Okay? So I'm going to tell something, I'm going to share something, which I think I'm sharing for the first time. So I'm going to start talking about Yoga Sutra. Please be careful, not careful, please be attentive. So Patanjali Muni is, the Yoga Sutras are an amazing text in which he has given very detailed explanation of various aspects. So he gives the definition of avidya. So why does the soul identify or misidentify with the body? Avidya. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also, Jiva Goswami says the root of all evil in the sense that the root of us being in the material world is avidya. And if you can cut out the avidya, then everything goes away. So everything what we experience, everything what we do is an extension of this ignorance. I'll explain how. Okay, ready? So he describes the definition of avidya is anitya, anitya, ashuchi, dukha atmasu, nitya shuchi sukhatma. So basically, to consider the impermanent anitya to be nitya, eternal. To consider the impure ashuchi to be shuchi. To consider impure ashuchi to be pure shuchi. To consider dukkha, painful, as blissful sukha. And to consider anatma, the inert, as conscious atma. This is a definition called of avidya. Again, four things. To consider the impermanent as permanent, to consider the impure as pure, to consider the painful as blissful, dukkha as sukha, and to consider the inert, anatma, as conscious atma. Right? So these are the you could say these are the definition or aspects of avidya. Now this avidya, when we consider this avidya, when we the extension or the chain reaction is what? Avidya, asmita, rag, dvesh, abhinivesh. I explain these terms. When the jiva living entity becomes uh, caught up by avidya, what follows is are these four things: asmita, rag, dvesh, abhinivesh. Okay, this is actualization. When one becomes identified with the body and mind, is avidya, because we think the impermanent as permanent, we think the impure as pure, we think the painful as blissful, and we think the inert as conscious. So every identify क्या करते हैं हम लोग? अरे consider the body as the self. In general, people consider the world as body as the self. Yes, most of them. अरे हाँ, YOLO, you only live once. तो consider YOLO, right? एक ही बार जीते हैं, एक ही बार मरते हैं, क्या करने का है? जो करना है करो यार. कौन देखा है? Who has seen what is in the next life? So that is avidya. So now let's see what is asmita. Ready? Okay. So he says asmita is drig darshana shaktior ekatmaneva smita. He says drig darshana means considering the seer and the instrument. So drig darshana means drig shakti means the seer. Considering the seer and the instrument for seeing, darshana shakti, there's a mind to be one and the same. Asmita. So what is the first level of avidya? To consider the body or the soul and the mind. एक ही है हम. So once there is strong asmita, the strong correlation of the body and mind, then the next step follows. अभी mind हो गया ना, we close with the mind now. Mind का क्या है? Mind का propensity क्या है? संकल्प, विकल्प, राग, द्वेष, desire, hatred, the qualities of mind. He says, rag or attachment arises because of pleasure. So basically, example, right? A child has never eaten chocolate. Or you have never eaten chocolate, for example. So you have no desire. क्या chocolate क्या है? पता नहीं क्या है? I don't know. है कि नहीं? You know what chocolate क्या है? Not eaten. But once you eat chocolate for the first time, what happens? Ah, tasty. Cheap. I want more. Amma, can I have more chocolate? Can I have more chocolate? Then that raga attachment, because when you experience something for the first time, the impression develops in the mind. And that is when you give some pleasure, you want more. I want more and more. It's called raga. That makes sense? Sukha anushayi raga. Anushayi means follows. That which follows pleasure is called rag. So attachment or rag arises from the consequence of pleasure. That makes sense? Now, what is dvesha? Dukha anushayi dveshaha. That which follows is suffering is dvesha, aversion. नहीं चाहिए मेरे को. अरे last time मिला था, I got hurt in पूरा ना, I got hurt inside the mouth. I don't want that. Dvesha. So rag gives rise to greed, and dvesh gives rise to anger and fear. Make sense? Now, when one becomes entangled in the body because of rag and dvesha, because we are being constantly bombarded because millions of lifetimes, अच्छा है, she loves me, she loves me not. She loves me, she loves me not. I love this, I don't love this. So rag and dvesha goes back and forth. So what happens? Because that they're constantly engaged in protecting the body. I don't want that, I want this, I don't want that. Then what happens? Abhinivesh means the fear of death. Abhinivesh. Right? So, Swarasa Vahi Vidusho Api Tatha Arudho Abhinivesh. Even amongst the learned, the fear of death, Abhinivesh, is naturally established. So, an ignorant person is as fearful of death as a learned person. That is the. So, if one says, "Oh, I don't have any desires, I don't have any, rag, dvesh, कुछ भी नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं." But this fourth one will be there. Fear of death will be there. So this is the extension of ignorance. Because if you understand we are the soul, we can never die. The soul is na jayate mriyate va kadachin. Does it make sense?
Prabhu, can you say the 5 points again? Prabhu is just taking note. Avidya,
Avidya,
uh,
asmita, raga,
asmita, raga,
dvesha,
dvesha,
abhinivesh.
Abhinivesh. Okay, understood.
Right?
This is given in Yoga Sutras.
Yoga Sutra, Patanjali Muni.
Patanjali. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So, definition of avidya is considering the impermanent as permanent. The mental world is temporary, including our own mind and body is temporary. Yes, but we don't, you know, uh, we don't remember much. Becomes we naturally, yeah, ठीक है. Right? So that is the first step of avidya is considering the body permanent. So ashuchi as shuchi, forgot that our bodies are full of impure things. My stool, urine, blood, mucus, everything is there. If you mm, क्या बोलते हैं, if you make the inside of the body outside, कोई दिखेगा भी नहीं फिर, right? So कैसे अशुचि है शुचि, दुख है सुख. This word is dukhalayam, Krishna says, and Krishna says asukham nityalo anityalokam. 9.33 Krishna says this word is giver of happiness. And then mataras prashastu kaunteya, and then Krishna also says, right, um, dukha yonaya evate. So every Krishna mentions very, very. So the body inevitably gives more suffering than pleasure. So considering dukkha as sukha, and the inert as conscious body, considering the body, mind, it is material as conscious entities. These are the elements of avidya, and the consequences of being in avidya is given there. So if you cut this root itself of cursing, impermanent, everything, these four things, then the effect of the other aspita, abhinivesh, ragadvesha, everything will automatically go down. Okay, hopefully it makes sense. Okay, so okay, then let's see what the purpose says here. Okay, I will read the translation once again. The living entities in material nature thus follows the way of life, enjoying three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus, he meets with good and evil among various species. So, Krishna says, Prabhupada says, how is he put in such different bodies? Due to association with different modes of nature. Right? So, because of different modes of nature, because if you have predominant rajasic mood or tamasic mood, sattvic mood with different bodies, right? And therefore, we have to rise above the three modes, as Vijay mentioned. Nistaragyo bhavar, nistaragyo bhavarjuna. Rise beyond. So, goodness is good, but one become too relaxed, lazy in good mode of goodness, and that lazy becomes tamogun. So, we have to go beyond this mode of goodness. And unless one is situated in Krishna consciousness, his material consciousness will oblige him to transfer from one body to another, because he has material desires since time immemorial. How is that living? How does we have material desires to say immemorial? Because samskar or karma, adrishta karma, which we don't know what will be in the past. So that the desires come out. So much desires. So complete, one way to eradicate all these material desires is to have full of spiritual desires. So if you have a glass of water, dirty water, one way is you can filter the water and try your best to filter the entire muddy water. Other ways to open a tap, put the glass under the tap, भर के finally all the dirty water will come out and only the pure water will remain in the glass. Feel yourself with that. Then that change can be affected only by hearing from authority, from Shravanam. Right? Tat Shrunu. Which verse is that? Because this, what emphasizes the point of hearing?
7.1, Prabhu.
7.1. Thank you. Yata jasi tat shrunu. No, hear. And so the hearing is very important. Prabhupada emphasizes that particular point of Shravanam very, very beautifully in the particular verse 7.1. The living entity, if he submits to his hearing process, will lose his long cherished desire to dominate material nature, and gradually and proportionately, as he reduces his long desire to dominate, he comes to enjoy spiritual happiness. This is the verse which Ramamataji last time, Bhogeshwari Prasaktanam Taya Aprasachesasam. right? So if you want to bhoga and aishwarya, in that samadhana vidhyate, you cannot have the firm dhida conviction and that following for spiritual progress. Two polar opposites, right? Does it make sense? So the long-term desire of material or to dominate material world or material nature can be eradicated by following spiritual path. There's two aspects, the two paths, pravritti marga and nivritti marga. Pravritti basically means what? जो करना है करो, I will do. One day it will go. करते करते ना जाएगा. Nivritti marg is what? Or you could say nivritti marg is saying no. No, I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want this. The jnanis, they say no. Neti, neti. So saying no to the bad. Pravritti marg, you can say, is cultivating the positive, whereby there's no time for negative to act upon. Does it make sense? Any questions in this regard? Once? Twice. Okay. Or twice. So, to the proportion.
I just wanted to say that, Prabhu, you explained that section really well, Prabhu. Thank you so much. I've never heard this deep of like the Avidya and all the series was very, very nice. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Prabhupada Vijay is there. What is mentioned that? Thank you. So the proportion to the degree you could say, reduce the desire to dominate material nature or to enjoy, be in the center. To that degree, we will be connected to Krishna. To that degree, we have realizations. Right? Prabhupada is saying here, Vedic Mantra just said that he becomes learned in association with the Supreme Person of Godhead. He proportionally reaches the entire blissful life. Okay? So Bhagwan and material world are like in the sense that two polar opposites. To experience the sweetness of Bhagwan, we have to give up this perverted enjoyment of the material world. Okay. Any questions on this particular verse?
Prabhu,
Yes.
why did this Yoga Sutra explanation come in relation to this verse 22?
Yes. So the association with the material nature, right? So Jiva experiences happiness and distress because of what? Because of misidentification with the body.
Okay, and misidentification of the body happens because of these 5 points.
Avidya. And avidya, when you become affected by ignorance, the consequences are asmita, raga, dvesha, everything.
So, because of avidya, asmita, rag, dvesh, and abhinivesh happens.
Yes.
Okay.
In Bhakti Ratha Sindhu, the Nectar of Devotion, written by Sri Rupa Goswami, in the very first chapter of the Eastern Division, he gives characteristics of bhakti. Okay? The 6 characteristics of bhakti. This is Shubhada, Moksha, because so many 6 characteristics given. Let me see if we can pull it up. Bhakti. Okay, I think I have it. Okay, perfect. Let me bring it up. Okay. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. And then we can see.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So there are 4 divisions in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu: Eastern Ocean, Southern Ocean, Western Ocean, and Northern Ocean. So for Bhakti Shastri, only Eastern Ocean is being taught or learned for exams. There are, I think, first 19 chapters of Nectar Devotion. Okay. Let me go down. If you see here, 6 unique qualities of Bhakti. Uttama Bhakti, Uttama Bhakti, 6 qualities. Kleshagni, the destruction of suffering. Klesha, Bhakti can, Uttama Bhakti can, Kleshagni. Okay? And if you see here, what is this? What is one of this? Avidya. Okay? Then Shubhada, vessel of all auspiciousness. Moksha Lagutakrit, disregard for liberation. Moksha becomes, even though it's such a high position, moksha becomes amount. Moksha also means going back to Godhead. Okay? Provided if there's no service. Okay, next. क्या हो गया इसको? Oh, it's stuck. Hello. Yes, sir.
We can hear you, Prabhu.
No. Sorry, ये फंस गया. It's stuck.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's got stuck. Oh, sorry, I just want to mention this. It's a very beautiful point which we have brought about. So I just want to share. Okay, I'm share my screen again. Hopefully this one doesn't get stuck. This one gets stuck. Share. Okay. Okay, you can see. So okay, this is 6. Okay. So Kleshagni, Shubhada, Moksha Lagutha Krita. Okay. Oh, sorry. Sudurlabha, extremely rare. It's not really very rare. Sandrana Visheshatma, intense bliss, contains form of bliss. Shri Krishna Akrashani, it attracts even Shri Krishna. These are the 6 characteristics of Uttama Bhakti. So in this, when Rupa Goswami talks about avidya, this is Mangalacharan first, they'll start Kutam, Bijam, Papam, he'll start everything. Let me just talk about, okay. So the first topic is ability. This is Kleshagni. Tatra Kleshagnatvam. They now start talking about Kleshagni. Kleshas to papam. Suffering is threefold. What? Sinful reaction, seed of sin, and ignorance. Okay? Is ignorance is part of Klesha. So he says Bhakti has the potency to eradicate ignorance from its root. Okay? So let me just Bija Haratvam. This is Bija. Let me see one thing, sorry. Padmecha, Niva Padmini. No, okay, it's gone. Go back. The karma is there. Not here. So the papam, simple reaction. Papam, bijam, avidya. Okay, sorry, my bad. So, prabhya karma. Sorry. Let's finish it. Bijam, okay. Avidya haratvam, avidya haratvam, chaturthe. In fourth canto is mentioned. Right? Devotees by actions of service to toes of the lotus feet of the Lord can very easily overcome the knot of ignorance carrying unlimited impressions of karma, tied tightly by action. Because this is very difficult. The empty-minded non-devotees who are there, the jnanis and yogis, although trying to stop the flow of sense activities, cannot do so. Therefore, you are advised to engage in the devotion of Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva. Right? So, Naishtiki Bhakti's ability to destroy avidya. Okay? So, Gyan and yoga also can destroy to some extent, but not fully. Bhakti has a full potency to completely destroy avidya, the root of a material existence. That's the potential of bhakti. Mentioned Bhakti Rasa Sindhu. So I just want to thought of speaking this. Sorry. Okay. There. Any other questions? Hopefully it answers to satisfaction. Okay. Any other question? Once, twice, thrice. Okay. So we'll continue from verse number 23. Now we talked about Purusha, right? 20, 21, 22. Right? Now in 23, the actual Purusha will be mentioned. Very, very important verse, very famous verse, verse number 23. Would you like to read?
I can read, Prabhu.
Thank you.
One second. Upada Upadrastanamanta cha.
Upudrishta.
Oh, Upadrishta. Sorry, Prabhu. Upadrishtanamanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwarah paramatmeti chapyukto dehe asmin purusha parah. Upadrashta. Upadrashta Anumanta, overseer, Anumanta permitter, Cha also, Bharta, master, Bhokta, supreme enjoyer, Maha Ishwaraha, the supreme lord, Parama Atma, the super soul, Iti, also Cha and Api indeed, Uktaha is said, Dehe in the body, Asmin, this Purushaha enjoyer, Paraha transcendental. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the super soul. For it is stated here that the super soul, who is always with the individual soul, is the representation of the Supreme Lord. He is not an ordinary living entity. Because the monist philosophers take the knower of the body to be one, they think that there is no difference between the super soul and the individual soul. To clarify this, the Lord says that He is represented as the Paramatma in every body. He is different from the individual soul. He is para, transcendental. The individual soul, the individual soul enjoys the 1 second. 1 second, Prabhu, sorry. Yeah. The individual soul enjoys the activities of a particular field, but the super soul is present not as finite enjoyer, nor as one taking part nor as one taking part in bodily activities, but as the witness, overseer, permitter, and supreme enjoyer. His name is Paramatma, not Atma, and he is transcendental. It is distinctly clear that the Atma and Paramatma are different. The super soul, the Paramatma, has legs and hands everywhere, but the individual soul does not. And because the Paramatma is the supreme Lord, he is present within to sanction the individual soul's desiring material enjoyment. Without the sanction of the supreme soul, the individual soul cannot do anything. The individual is bhukta, or the sustained, and the Lord is bhokta, or the maintainer. There are innumerable living entities, and He is staying in them as a friend. The fact is that every individual living entity is eternally part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and both of them are very intimately related as friends. But the living entity has a tendency to reject the sanction of the Supreme Lord and act independently in an attempt to dominate nature. And because he has this tendency, he is called the marginal energy of the Supreme Lord. The living entity can be situated either in the material energy or in the spiritual energy. As long as he is conditioned by the material energy, the Supreme Lord, as his friend, the super soul, stays with him just to get him to return to the spiritual energy. The Lord is always eager to take him back to the spiritual energy, but due to his minute independence, the individual entity is continually rejecting the association of spiritual light. This misuse of independence is the cause of his material strife and the conditioned nature. The Lord, therefore, is always giving instruction from within and from without. From without, he gives instructions as stated in Bhagavad Gita, and from within, he tries to convince the living entity that his activities in a material field are not conducive to real happiness. Just give it up and turn your faith toward me, then you will be happy, he says. Thus, the intelligent person who places his faith in the Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of God, it begins to advance toward a blissful eternal life of knowledge. Jai Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Krishna, thank you so much. Yeah. So, anyone like share anything heard, read this?
Prabhu, what is they're saying that individual soul can't do anything without no wait. Sorry, Prabhu, I missed that
No,
line.
no, 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 please take your time. Look, yeah.
I'm just trying to find that one line I saw.
is yeah, without the sanction of the Supreme Soul, the individual soul cannot do anything.
Mhm.
Prabhu, individual soul does all kinds of things.
Mhm.
Individual soul is us, right?
Right.
So when they are saying can't do without the permission of the super soul,
Mhm.
um, is it like indirectly saying that all our wrong things are also because of super soul?
Mm-mm. Sanctioning because so without the sanction of super soul and being the we doing all the activities because of super soul, two different things. So good question. So at a very you could say FAQ, frequently asked questions, right? So the thing is, so people ask questions. Hey, मैंने गंदा काम किया. I didn't see because of him. I did this because super soul.
Hmm.
So people try to absolve them of the accuracy. मैंने कुछ नहीं किया, सिर्फ भगवान ने किया. भगवान सी उपदेशानुमंता because of his sanction I did. So I didn't do anything. They try to um, um, weave out of all these activities. But Krishna is saying very nicely, Anumanta means sanctioner. Sanctioner means he says yes or no to any activity. That's the question, right? Good activity, he says yeah, okay. Bad activities, he says okay. That's why we're doing bad activities, right? You're saying that's the point you're saying.
Yes, yes.
So now, when Krishna says yes or no to activities, it's not because of he likes Jiva. "अरे हाँ, I love you. Okay, chalo, kar do." No, it's because of the karma. Does the Jiva have karma to do? Krishna doesn't see, if you see here, Upadrashta, he only overseer. But dekh raha hai. The Paramatma does not interfere. He's a witness. So the Jiva wants to do something. Paramatma will say, okay, I'll give you sanction, but understand the result also you have to suffer, good or bad, whatever it is. Because you have the karma to do this activity, I'll give sanction. Just like a judge, a person does, murder someone, comes to the court. This judge says 100 years in prison, and the person is saying, "It's because of you, judge, I'm going to prison. You are the cause."
Hmm.
What would you say?
It's because of the action.
Action of whom? The murderer.
Hmm.
बगल वो तो जेल जा रहा है ना, वो सफर. But judge is the cause? No. Judge is the cause. He just sanctioned. But you did this, ये मिला. बस. Because of previous karma, you were eligible to get this particular thing. Whatever you suffer, whatever. I'll sanction your this because you have the karma for to do that. Okay, I'll sanction it. Done. ठीक है. But the result मिलेगा तुमको मिलेगा, फिर भोगना पड़ेगा.
Okay.
That makes sense? So
Yes.
can be blamed for our actions. Krishna is Anumanta is Upadrashta means Upadrashta means seer. Upa means near. We say Upavas, right? Fasting. Vas means stay. Upa means near. Stay in near sadhu, stay near Shastra. That is Upavas. So Upadrashta means seer. So that person who sits near
And sees.
the and sees Upadrashta. And Anumanta, Anumati Dena, right? Gives permission. Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshwara. He is Maheshwara. He is Bharta. Is the maintainer. Bhokta is the enjoyer. Paramatma is Chapukto. The Ukto means is called Paramatma. And his mean, the Asmin in this Deha, Purusha Shava. It is that another Purusha also living. Two Purushas living in one body. Hmm? So the distinction is made here. And so, okay, so hopefully this answers the question about Anumanta.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay, okay. So the Paramatma, so here Krishna makes a very clear distinction that there are two souls in a particular body. Okay, this Paramatma and this Jiva, they're not the same. And Krishna gave a general description of the Paramatma from verse 13 to 18. Hands and legs everywhere. All these verses, Upanishad style verses, talks about the Paramatma. And Krishna already gave a brief description of those. Okay. Now he's telling what the person is called. It's called Paramatma, who is Maheshwara. Hands, legs everywhere. All the characteristics apply to this particular entity, this particular personality called the Paramatma. Okay. Now, one thing what talks about here is that
Prabhu,
yes,
I just wanted to say I got reminded of the keep giving the two birds sitting on a tree
yes.
example, right?
We
Yeah.
just sorry, do parno sakhaya.
Do parno. Yeah, last time we read. Yes.
Do parno sakhaya. The relationship between the Paramatma and the living entity is that of friends. So if you see the words, I'm just trying to find.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not able to find.
Samane vrikshe purusho nimagno.
Yes.
That is from, I think that's from
Mm.
Shvetashvatar Upanishad, Prabhu, or?
These was multiple Upanishads given, but this is one, I think so. Yeah, this is what you mentioned. The Nimagno, that particular verse in Shivtashvara Upanishad. But I don't remember it. Somewhere here. Okay, anyway, so basically saying that, oh yeah, verse 21. Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya. This is Mundaka Upanishad.
Mm.
Right? Dva Suparna Sayuja. So it's friends, they're being good friends. They're better here. But still watching the small
It's
bird,
also
other bird.
mentioned in 2.22, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Sorry, Vati?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. It's also mentioned in the second chapter, right? It's 2.222, I think, something like that.
222. Okay,
Yeah.
let's take a look. 222. Yeah, these are Atma Gyan section, right? Yeah, it might be
Yeah,
there.
Shvetashvara Upanishad.
Shvetashvara Upanishad. Yes, so it says, if you see here, in the Vedas, like the Mundaka Upanishad as well as the Shvetashvara
Oh,
Upanishad.
as well as, oh, okay, okay. Yes,
Both.
both.
So sometimes there's verses mentioned, similar verses may not be same exact same हो सकता है, but similar mention multiple Upanishads. Yes, you are right. Shvetashvara Upanishad and Mundaka Upanishad is there. And but Anita mentioned about Nimagno, the particular verse, it comes from Shvetashvara Upanishad. Yeah, there's in the same purport. Mundaka Upanishad, Shvetashvara Upanishad both mentions Samana Vrikshe Purusho Nimagno Anishaya Shoshati Muhyamana. This verse is given here. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Ganita. So there is one. So Paramatma, and Prabhupada says here, the first paragraph talks about that particular aspect of Paramatma being different from Jiva, right? And without Paramatma's sanction, Jiva cannot do anything. So Paramatma is not there, Jiva can't do anything. How? Why? Why can't the Jiva do anything? Would you like to try? Why can't the Jiva do anything without the sanction of the Paramatma?
I'm just reminded of the three doers verse, Prabhu.
Okay. Which verse is that?
It's the energy versus the energetic concept, Prabhu. Uh,
Can
no,
you explain?
no, it's like the energy is can be only used by the energetic person. Without the energetic person, energy is useless, right? But
Okay.
uh,
Please translate to what we're saying.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, Prabhu.
Like,
But the jiva's all that the jiva can do is desire.
okay.
Um, and but then the sanction, as Vijay said, has to come from Paramatma.
Yeah, the question, why can Jiva?
Why is the question? Sorry, Prabhu.
No,
Yeah.
no, you're close. Would you like to try? Right. Okay.
That's
So,
based on,
yes.
sorry, Prabhu.
No,
Yes.
that's good.
Yeah, is that based on past karma too, right?
Mm, no, not really.
Not really. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Sorry, Prabhu.
No, no, this was Salimati. So the thing is, let's say Parma is not in the picture. Okay. And but I mentioned the energetic. Jiva says, lift the hand, don't do something. But the hand won't move. Why? Because the energy, the battery energy, energetic on who say energetic of the battery energy? Who will the material energy obey? Us. हम बोलेंगे वो करेगा, material energy करेगी. What we say will the material energy do? Are we the controller of the material energy? Yes, no, yes, no, no.
So your question is, are we the controller of the material energy,
Yeah.
Prabhu?
Because we only hand to move. Hand is made of material energy, right?
No, we don't have control of that,
तो
Prabhu.
तो फिर कैसे मूव करेगा? तो energy will only obey the energetic, right? And Paramatma is the energetic. So when as I mentioned, when the jiva desires, oh, I want to do this, I want to do something, right? The Paramatma will say, okay, sanction. The वो material प्रकृति उठाइए हाथ. Then the Prakriti follows the order of the energy, follows the order of the energetic. Lift the hand. So even though we say अब हाथ उठाना है, we feel like अरे हाँ नहीं उठाया हाथ. No, we don't have because it's the sanction of the Paramatma that we are able to lift what we have to do. But we can do whatever, right? Because we don't have the controller. We are not the control of the Maya Shakti. Bhagavan is the control of Maya Shakti. Why will Maya Shakti do anything what we say? Does it make sense? By Bhagavan's sanction is required to do anything, in fact. Is it clear or not clear?
Yes, Prabhu, clear. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhu, it is very clear, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. So now, in the second part of the purport, the living entity can be is marginal. Tatastha. Tatastha means on the shore. It can be on the sand or in the water, depending on our inclination, which we have accrued over time immemorial. Right? So Jiva can be inclined towards the material Maya Shakti, Maya Adhina. So Mahamaya Adhina, under the shelter of Mahamaya, or if we are fortunate because of association of devotees and past bhakti samskaras, we can start to go under the shelter of Yogamaya. So Jiva has to be controlled by something, Mahamaya or Yogamaya. Okay, so the living entity can be situated in the material energy or in the spiritual energy. As long as he is conditioned by the material energy, the Supreme Lord, as his friend, Super Soul stays with him just to get him to return to spiritual energy. So wherever we are in the material energy, material world, whatever body we go into, Paramatma is always with us. Always with us, no matter what. As his friend, Sakhaya. Right? Now, the Lord is always eager to take him back to spiritual energy, but due to his mild independence, Jiva can say, मुझे नहीं करना है. I will do this, I will do that. So, Jiva does particular action based on previous samskaras, right? Because the Jiva, whatever we do, becomes heavily influenced. But we have that independence to go against the current of the river. That makes sense? So to swim against the current of the river is our independence. That is when it's called voluntarily coming to bhakti. Take a bhakti. Naturally, we are so conditioned to go away to do whatever we want to do. But to come towards Krishna in this material condition, being in the material world, is trying to swim against the current of the river. And that requires independence. And when you when you swim against the current, when you swim upstream, it shows भैया कुछ तो करना है इसको, मुझको somewhere इतना effort डाल रहा है, right? Swim कर रहा है, effort going along the current doesn't require much effort. You just stay there and you feel like you are Michael Phelps swimming like no, full speed. Going up this upstream, you get a lot of effort. That means you are putting voluntarily coming down. Only dead body goes along with the flow of the river. कुछ करना ही नहीं है, हाँ भैया करना है जो करो. But one who is living can swim against the current of the river and go up. So Krishna wants Diva to come to him voluntarily because that shows भाई भाई इसको चाहिए. This living being wants to be with me, wants me. Does it make sense? The Bhagwan will never do anything to force us. He might put us in different conditions because based on past bhakti samskaras in particular conducive environment so that we can come close to him, but never force us because he wants voluntarily the jiva to come to him. Does it make sense? Right?
Yes,
And to
that
do
is
that,
beautiful, Brahmaji.
yes, Sumati?
That is very beautiful, actually. That's very nice point.
Hmm.
I mean, voluntarily coming to because he wants to let the uh, individual jivas have free will
Mhm.
and take up on bhakti not by force, or that is not like natural love.
Hmm. It's not
Um,
organic, it's not natural. Hmm.
yeah, okay, that is a very good point. I never thought about that actually point. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
The more natural the Krishna wants naturally because we can't make someone love at a gunpoint. Person may say I love you, may say that, but feeling नहीं है. Feeling naturally आएगा voluntarily. So Krishna wants that, and for that to happen, Krishna can employ different tactics to make us inspire to come to him naturally, not force, inspire. Two ways. As Chaitya Guru, the Paramatma, he will say, जा ना अरे जा अच्छा है. Sometimes inner voice होता है ना करना चाहिए नहीं करना जाना चाहिए. The inner voice sometimes Chaitya Guru is speaking. Paramatma, sometimes we can hear his voice Paramatma sometimes. And as externally he comes as the who? Can anyone guess? Externally Paramatma comes as
Spiritual master,
spiritual master Guru.
guru.
Guru. Guru is a manifestation of the Chaitya Guru. Hmm? So, and for that, if you want to know Guru Tattva, read Chaitanya Chaitamrita Adi Lila, first chapter. The name of the chapter is Spiritual Masters. With the entire spiritual, the Tattva, the Guru Tattva is mentioned. If I just show you here, Guru Krishna Rupa Haya Shastrera Pramane. Guru is Krishna Rupa. Hana Shastra from in the Shastra Praman, from Shastra Praman, you understand Guru is Krishna Rupa. Guru Rupe Krishna Kripa Kare na Bhakta Gane. Right? Krishna in the form of spiritual master delivers his devotees. Bhagavan comes in the right? The form of spiritual master. Guru Rupe Krishna. Krishna comes in the form of Guru. Kripa Karena Bhakta Gane. And his devotees serious Bhakta. So this entire chapter या शिक्षा गुरु के ताज जानी कृष्ण स्वरूप अंतर्यामी भक्त श्रेष्ठा यही दुई रूप अंतर्यामी इज चैत्य गुरु एंड भक्त श्रेष्ठा उत्तम भागवत भक्त उत्तम भागवत दैट डिवोटी दिस भगवान टेक दीज टू फॉर्म्स greatest devotee and as Chaitya Guru super soul. This is a beautiful chapter about Guru Tattva. Beautiful chapter. And this will all explained in chapter number, I think so, is chapter number 5. Talks about Nityananda Balram. Adi Guru. In that chapter also will be very detailedly mentioned. I just only mention that because Prabhupada says here, the Lord therefore is always giving instruction from within and from without. From without, He gives instructions in Bhagavad Gita. But we don't have Bhagavad Gita. We have Bhagavad Gita, but Krishna didn't speak directly to us, right? So Guru comes, a Sat Guru, bona fide Guru, not हाँ मैं गुरु हूँ आके इसको उठाया हाँ भैया आप पवित्र कृष्ण मतलब not just anyone says this is Guru. Guru is a very common word now. Finance Guru, that Guru, this Guru. No, वो Guru नहीं, some different Guru here. And from within, he tries to convince the living entity that his activities in the material world are not conducive to real happiness. He's going to convince. Force नहीं है. He can do it, but voluntarily, that aspect. Just give it up and turn your faith towards me. Then become happy. Why? How does happiness so? To attain happiness, if you say, if someone asks, what is the goal of life? I want to be happy. Is there anyone who says, I don't want to be happy? Whatever we do for one goal. What is that? To become
Happy.
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 But then how can one become happy? Happiness is an effect. I'm saying happiness is an effect. So what is the cause of happiness? Anyone knows?
Prabhu, say that again. Repeat the question again, Prabhu.
Happiness, I'm saying happiness is an effect.
Effect. Huh.
I'm saying, so what is the cause? This should be the actual cause, right?
Mm.
What is the cause?
Some of your desire, some of your action.
No.
Mm.
Our action, everything causes misfortunes. Dukha yuvanaya evate. Remember?
Yeah.
So,
15.15 verse, Prabhu.
which one, which verse?
15, that peace formula, Prabhu.
Bhuktara Bekita Sulokama Shara.
No, Prabhu. 15.15, which
15
is.
by 15. 15 by 15 is Sarvasya Jaham.
Yes, Prabhu.
How is that? Is it
No, actually not, Prabhu. No.
That's not it.
Sorry, Prabhu.
No. So, in the Upanishad, it's mentioned Raso Vai Saha. Have you heard this term before? Raso Vai Saha.
Rasoham, that verse.
Raso Vai Saha.
Rasavai swaha.
Saha basically means that person. Okay? That some person is Rasa. Is the Murtiman Swarup, is a personification of Rasa. Okay? Does it make sense? So Upanishad is saying Raso Vai Saha, that Bhagavan is made of Rasa. Okay? Rasam hi eva labdha anandi bhavati. And once you attain rasa, then what happens? Anandi bhavati. One becomes happy. We were told being happy is an effect. What is the cause?
Attainment of rasa.
Rasa. That is what we're looking for. If it's actually someone says happy, the person is actually looking for rasa. And there are two kinds of rasa. There's a jada rasa and there is bhakti rasa. जरा रसा में यू विल गेट ओनली हैप्पीनेस, सैडनेस मिलेगा, कुछ ही मिलेगा, बस पीक ऑफ थोड़ा हैप्पीनेस, फ्लीटिंग मोमेंटरी अपेरेंट हैप्पीनेस मिलेगा. बट व्हेन यू गेट भक्ति रसा, different level, you can't compare that at all. Then one becomes truly happy because we are we are coming in contact with ras. Bhakti rasa is Bhagwan's body is bhakti ras. They're coming in contact with a person full of ras. And when you get ras, when you come in contact with that person full is made of rasa, anandi bhavati. And that ananda will not stop, will not go down, will increase. Does that make sense? So, Krishna says here, then become happy. Right? If you attain me, if you get bhakti rasa, if you get taste of bhakti rasa, then anandi bhavati, you get happiness. Does that make sense? Any questions?
Very, very beautiful, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
So we're all looking for rasa. We're looking for the right rasa, bhakti rasa. That's why we have the ocean of bhakti rasas. Bhakti rasa amrita sindhu is there by Sri Rupa Goswami. Right? Let's study that. Okay, so let's learn 20 or 920. We'll stop here. We finished 22 and 23. Again with the same slow. What is they do with during the early days? Okay. So, but yeah, if it's going very slow, let me know. Again, if you increase the speed also. But yeah, any last bit questions? Anything share before we? Months, twice, twice. Okay. So thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Prabhu, what is this verse you say in the end? Yeah.
This is a pranam to the devotees. So let me just quickly share. Vancha. Vancha basically obeisances to Kalpataru. They are. Why speak in Hindi? Oh, I put Hindi, sorry. Okay. So this talks about whatever offenses we have done, whatever we do, right? To any devotees, please forgive us. So Mancha Kalpataru. At the very end, we say this.
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
Mancha Kalpataru. So the devotees are Kalpataru, desire fulfilling trees. And the Kripa Sindhu, the ocean of mercy. Paditana Pavanebhyo. That Vaishnava, those Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavas are who? They are desire trees, fulfill all desires, and are full of compassion for who? Patitanam. They are full of compassion for the most fallen, the more conditioned souls, and the purifiers of them. Do that. So if you make any mistakes to Vaishnavas, please forgive us. Obeisance to them. This following the Vaishnava.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. Krishna.
Vriksha.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Dandavat pranam.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu.